Is Keir Starmer plotting to rejoin the EU? That's the fiery accusation from Tory MP Mark Francois, who believes Labour's so-called Brexit reset is nothing more than a smokescreen to undo the will of the British people. He didn't hold back during an explosive interview with GB News. Let's roll the clip and hear it straight from Francois himself.
I remember sitting in the House of Commons week after week, watching him calling for a second referendum because he couldn't abide the results of the first one. And I believe that this talk of a reset is code.
What does that mean? What does reset mean?
It's a euphemism for basically trying to take us back in via another name.
I believe that's what...
I absolutely do. You know, to try and give you, your viewers some insight into this, we've just been joined by Chopper. He'll remember all this very well. Night after night, for over 2 years, we had Starmer in the Commons conspiring with people across all parties to try and keep us in the EU at almost any price. He remains a Remainer at heart. He'll always be an ardent Remainer. And this talk of a reset, they're already talking about surrendering some of our fishing rights. They're talking about weakening on free movement. I believe they wouldn't dare try and do this all in one go. They'll play grandmother's footsteps and they'll try and take us back in. They'll try and take us back in step by step by step by step, a bit like boiling a frog. Yeah, but I absolutely ardently believe Starmer will try and take us back into the EU if he thinks he can get away with it.
And so, a lot of our viewers, gbnews.com/your say, by the way, are saying, certainly the waspy women thing, don't believe a word Keir Starmer says. Cassandra said, never hear Keir state in radio interview in 2022 with regard to the waspy women, there was a real injustice. It's a long line of U-turns, broken promises and lies. So do you think Brexit will be, we are not going back to the EU, that's just another U-turn lie?
I can see Chopper's keen to get in, but look, we had a referendum, right? 17.4 million people voted to leave. It's the biggest proposition ever voted for in British politics. Starmer got less than 10 million votes in the general election. 17.5 million people voted to leave the EU. He cannot overturn that mandate, but he's definitely going to try.
If Francois's warning sent shivers down your spine, you're not alone. His claim that Starmer is using this so-called reset to edge Britain back into the EU has sparked outrage among Brexit supporters. This isn't just political rhetoric. The government has confirmed the creation of a new 100-member civil servant unit dedicated to managing EU-UK relations. Officially, this unit is meant to secure the best possible deal for the UK, but critics aren't convinced. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson has slammed it as the Westminster Surrender Squad, claiming it paves the way for a slow return of EU control. The timing couldn't be worse for Starmer. The European Commission has already launched legal action against the UK, accusing it of violating post-Brexit agreements on freedom of movement. Downing Street's response has been worryingly ambiguous. When asked whether the European Court of Justice, ECJ, might regain jurisdiction over UK matters as part of the reset, government spokespeople avoided giving a straight answer. Priti Patel is sounding the alarm as well. The former Home Secretary has warned that Labour's approach could lead to the outright surrender of British sovereignty. This isn't just about trade or fishing rights, Patel said. It's about protecting the independence we fought so hard to win. Jacob Rees-Mogg echoed Patel's concerns, urging pro-Brexit leaders to reject any deal that involves the ECJ. Allowing EU courts any jurisdiction over UK matters would devastate our fishing industry and reopen the floodgates for unchecked migration, Rees-Mogg said. For Labour, the pressure is mounting. While Starmer insists his reset is about fostering better trade and diplomatic ties, critics see it as a Trojan horse for reversing Brexit. Francois, Patel and Rees-Mogg aren't alone in their scepticism. Brexit supporters across the country are questioning whether Starmer's leadership will erode the hard-won independence of the UK. And just when you thought this drama couldn't get any more intense, Labour faces criticism on another front, its approach to China. Former Home Secretary Suella Braverman has launched a scathing attack on Labour, accusing the party of appeasing Beijing. Braverman's comments come amid growing concerns about Chinese influence in British institutions. Recent revelations about Yang Tengbo, a suspected Chinese spy with close ties to Prince Andrew and former prime ministers, have rocked the political establishment. Yang, who attended Prince Andrew's 2020 birthday party, has been described as a close confidant of the Duke of York and was photographed with David Cameron and Theresa May. Braverman warned that Labour's failure to confront Beijing's growing influence is putting the UK at risk. "This isn't just about espionage," she said. "China is waging a silent war against the West, and Labour is too scared to take a stand." She pointed to recent moves by Labour, including Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy's visit to Beijing and Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves's upcoming trip to China, as evidence of their willingness to appease the Chinese Communist Party. "Labour is bending over backward for Beijing," Braverman said. "They've even cancelled critical free speech laws under alleged pressure from the Chinese government. This is a betrayal of British values and sovereignty." As Labour struggles to defend its position on Brexit and China, a new challenge is emerging: the rise of Reform UK. Nigel Farage has revealed that Elon Musk may provide financial support to the Populist Party, potentially reshaping the political landscape. Farage, who recently met with Musk at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, described their discussion as revolutionary. According to Farage, Musk is deeply concerned about the state of British politics and sees little difference between Labour and the Conservatives. "Musk told me himself," Farage said, "that Britain is losing its way. He agrees that we need real reform, and he's right behind us." While no formal deal has been announced, Farage hinted that Musk's involvement could provide a massive boost for Reform UK. Whether it's financial support or strategic advice, Musk's input could change everything, Farage said. If Musk does back Reform UK, it could spell trouble for Labour. Farage has already pledged to challenge Starmer's Brexit reset and expose any attempts to undermine British sovereignty. With Musk's resources and Farage's political savvy, Reform UK could become a formidable force in the next election. So, where does this leave us? On one side, you have Marc Francois painting a chilling picture of Starmer as a stealthy Remainer, plotting Britain's return to the EU. On the other, Labour insists its reset is about diplomacy, not surrender. Add the looming spectre of Chinese influence and the rise of a Musk-backed Reform UK, and it's clear the stakes have never been higher. Is Starmer really plotting to undo Brexit? Is Labour too weak to stand up to foreign threats? And could Farage and Musk be the unexpected duo to disrupt the status quo? One thing's for certain, this political drama is far from over. What do you think? Is Marc Francois right about Starmer's secret Brexit agenda, or are these claims just more political theatre? Let us know in the comments, hit like and subscribe for more updates, because this story is only getting started.